Good evening, friends, and welcome to a very exciting session with Suresh Kochattil ji. Welcome.
Namaskar.
Namaskar. So the buzzword is AI Summit in India, and you have a lot of controversies regarding the AI Summit in India. And point number one being is that Bill Gates did not deliver the keynote address at the Impact Summit, and uh, people say that this is because of the his name appearing in the Epstein files. So the Epstein files is rattling a lot of people across various countries, isn't it, Suresh?
Yeah, Prince Andrew has just got arrested. I just read the news of the ticker, and that's fine. I mean, it's not that Bill Gates is now at the cutting edge of technology, because even if he had come, he would have spoken about AI and healthcare and how vaccines can be developed pretty soon thanks to AI. In fact, I was yesterday, last 2 days, I was attending the BioAsia conference in Hyderabad, and this is an annual event. I think now into its eighth or ninth year now, and it's pretty huge. I mean, we had about 4,500 delegates from across the world, a great lineup of speakers, and I had interviewed many of them at the conference. And what they tell me is that the impact of AI is not just on IT. A lot of people in the IT sector are getting worried about AI and its impact on the IT sector, because a lot of repetitive jobs like coding and testing and all are anyway going to go. They would have gone anyway. But the point is that there was a lot of confusion on this part, Jaydev. And what we learn from now is the fact that yes, there is going to be an impact, no doubt about it. At any revolution like that has happened, there has been changes in the environment around it. We have the revolution where the wheel came into being, and the entire facets changed after that. We also had the fact about various other issues, like, for example, when the steam engine came in, that it created a huge change in not just on the steam engine per se, but a number of industries associated with it, and that is how the entire thing came about. So here is what I thought would be my two pence on this thing, Jaydev, is the impact that it's going to create on a range of industries, or you want to call it industries or something else, you want to call it a sector wise. There's going to be a huge change, because the BioAsia was a real eye opener for me. And before that, we had the Transforming Healthcare with IT conference, the International Health Dialogue, also in Hyderabad, where again I spoke to a lot of doctors and others, and they told me the same thing. I had health technologies, that there is going to be a huge change in the entire scenario, and that reason for that is very obvious, Jaydev. Uh, what is happening is, I'll give you one example of it. When I spoke to a lot of doctors here, they give me one example of it, which is basically the radiology department. Okay, and there are huge sort of radiologists across the world today, and even in India, and the radiologists are burdened with humongous amount of work looking at the various MRI scans and ultrasound reports and other kind of scans that have come to them. And they are kind of stressed out looking at the reports all day, and then they have to decipher what is wrong or what is right, and then give their reading for it or their inference for it. Now the problem is very simple: is that today, if you can use AI, for example, and you can get it read offline, and the AI can literally do about more than double the number of reports that a normal radiologist would do, depending on the kind of input that you give it, the kind of training that you provide to the AI device, and that's what's going to happen. So effectively, what happens? Some radiologist who's looking at 10 to 20 reports a day will now look at 50, and that gives a larger number of patients access to healthcare, and that is, I think, the big thing that is happening there. Also, on the front that India is also now kind of the back office of the world. Now you're seeing not just the capability centers, you're also seeing, what is happening on the other side of the fence, which is basically, look at Africa today. If you want to provide healthcare or access to Africa on a remote basis, we can do it from India, and they're doing it already. I saw Apollo hospitals dealing with that. I spoke to one of the doctors who were there at the conference, and they're also doing the radiology report sitting here. There are acute care medicine being handled, ICUs being handled by remote. Now everything is going to get impacted, because what is going to happen is that a lot of uh, jobs which we thought were not replaceable are today replaceable. And that is what the main thing is. Education, for example, is another sector that's going to see huge change today. Technically, I read somewhere, was it Elon Musk who said that we need plumbers, we need electricians, we need carpenters, less of software engineers. So it's true. I'm struggling to get a carpenter to do my work here in Hyderabad, and I've been chasing that fellow from last almost 12 days now, and then I've almost given up. But you want to throw a stone at one of Hyderabad's IT corridors, it will fall on a software engineer, and that is the irony of it. I suspect the same thing happens in Bengaluru also. So we need to understand that the world has changed, and that I think is a big, big lesson for a lot of people. That it is not just scaring people with AI, as Chandrasekhar of Tata Sons spoke. He clearly said that this revolution that happened, one was a wheel, next was a steam engine, then came the computers. And computers, people said, oh, everybody's going to lose their jobs. And nothing happened. Another sector that's going to see a huge change is the education sector, because technically we need less of people to do college education now, and we need more people to be skilled in different aspects of different jobs. So what you're going to see is the education which henceforth were like typically provided in a college or in a school will now happen through an online media. And we already had many of them in India, many such apps that were already there. But what we're going to increasingly see is the fact that that education will get updated every day. I was today morning sitting through a MIT class on technology and other things, because I mean I cannot afford, okay, I can't even think of going to MIT at this age, and of course not in this life of mine. But I was listening to a class, and it's just free of cost, almost a couple of hours lecture, very interesting. Now imagine what it can do to so a student sitting in India, where you can take an MIT class free of cost. Tomorrow, even if they charge some small amount for it, it's still worth going through all that. I mean, likewise, I've seen different universities. Harvard is offering a lot of free classes there. So what is going to happen? There's going to be a democratization of education also. So we saw technology, we saw healthcare, we saw education. We're going to see a whole lot of sectors, because you know it pretty well, Jaydev, that uh, this hype surrounding AI needs to be now tailored into it. Now, I was watching Pratyush of Sarvam AI and today morning, and he was talking a lot of stuff which made a lot of sense. Last night, I saw a demo of theirs where they picked up an old newspaper article of B.R. Ambedkar ji, and it was immediately changed into a text format, and from there it went into a voice format, and the voice format was in 12 or 16 languages. Now imagine all this in a matter of a couple of minutes. I mean, we in media used to struggle to get this done. And then there was a case of a dubbing of voice. My God, I mean, this will the entire lot of people who used to do voiceover and dubbing will now lose their jobs. Definitely. But what is going to happen today is that a lot more new people will get into fields like media, because now the cost of entry cost is going to be, the entry barrier cost is going to be pretty low actually. So this is where it is. I mean, what happened in Delhi, of course, it's a summit. The Galgotia affair was a disaster, if you ask me. And that is a problem to do more with the engineering colleges. In fact, I've been speaking about it all day in different channels here in Hyderabad, which I was just telling that the entire problem with Indian engineering colleges is that we are only attuned to doing service related work. We are never a product related world at all in engineering. And that is the problem with most of the kids in engineering. They just come out wanting to be a software engineer and nothing else. Even guys who do mechanical never get into actual dirty their hands and get into do mechanical stuff. And this is where the problem is arising, Jaydev. I think we need to reinvent the entire education system. And we don't have much time, honestly. It has to be done in a couple of months, be it AICT, or be it the Universities Grants Commission, or the respective universities under which all these colleges come. There has to be a whole scale change in the content, the way it is taught, the faculty, quality of faculty, and of course, the way those lectures are delivered. Students can now learn from absolutely anywhere. And the less they will, you'll see them in colleges from now on. I think what Modi ji has done is, of course, you spoke about the fact that it should be affordable. It should be clear in terms of the legality part of it. And also, it should actually help the people of India, because we have a 140 crore population. And he gave an example of UPI, which I think was one of the greatest works that Indian government has ever done, where they proved Mr. Chidambaram wrong when he said, how do you ensure that a lady has a connection? How do you ensure that she has a bank account and all that? Today, I don't know where my purse is. I haven't touched it in the last 3 4 days. So it's just the phone that takes care of everything, and that I think is the main thing, Jay Davis. We are now building up a future where things will change rapidly. And if you are, like Charles Darwin said, if we don't adapt, we will die. We need to adapt to it. Let us get rid of all the hype around it. Let's look at the sectors that are going to be impacted by healthcare, education, and others. And then realize the tremendous amount of employment that is going to come into those fields also. This is my take on it. I think it's a great effort that was done in Delhi. Forget all the chaos that is there with a conference in India. It happens every time. I know I attended numerous one of them. The day one, for the first couple of hours, people are in the queue still trying to get the delegate cards, and the whole lot of confusion about the sessions, where it is happening, what is happening, all that stuff. So I guess that those kind of things you need to discount in India. But I think overall, I'm not there in Delhi, but my friends who are there told me that it was pretty useful. And I watched a lot of those programs, a lot of those talks live on my phone and on my laptop.
Yes, and also Rahul Gandhi called this summit a disorganized PR spectacle. And so I think he was referring to that robotic dog which you earlier mentioned, the Galgotias University, which they got it from China, and they said that they produced this dog, isn't it?
How can you stop people from doing that? Tell me, is there a way of going to check each and every exhibit that is going to come into the stalls? Yesterday there were 126 stalls here at the BioAsia. I mean, I'm not sure the organizers have gone to each stall to check whether the stuff they are exhibiting is genuine or not, does it work or not work, and all that kind of stuff. No, you take the trust word for it. What happened there was that the university tried to hype it up. That's typical of any university or engineering college or anybody education. They try to hype up and say, "We are the best. We're going to invest 350 crores into AI. Come on." Now you check with the university, they'll tell you it is not even 3 crores. So this kind of hype needs to be cut out. We need to talk stuff. We are never a product development world in India. We never develop products. We are good at services. We are good at cost arbitrage. Okay, somebody is doing a work for $12 in the US, we will do it for $2 in India, and that's it. That's the only advantage we had. Apart from Zoho and Finacle, I don't think we have ever developed any products in India. I mean, we never made an iPod, an iPad, or anything like that. It's only now that we are seeing some kind of movement on that side, especially on the space side, where we're seeing a lot of work being done. But sadly enough, yes, that even Rahul Gandhi ridiculing it is the most ridiculous stuff, because he should have been there at the conference. He should have been going. He talks about being a young man, and at 54 or 53 or whatever it is, he should have been there. So PR stunt is not the question. The fact that Modi ji managed to get so many of the world leaders onto the stage, Rahul Gandhi should have been there. He's a leader of so-called leader of opposition. He should have been there. He should have gone around the stall. He should have spoken to them. This negativity which he's spreading around is not taking him anywhere, because it's going to even put away his own voters. The people who used to vote for him also will get a Ferrari working, because he never has a good word for India. You've seen that right from the start. Operation Sindoor, he ridiculed our Air Force. Before that, Galwan, he ridiculed our army. He did everything, pulled up by the Supreme Court, pulled up by the high courts all the time. This man doesn't have a good word for his country. He only likes, he was telling today that we have sold our data. Whom did we sell our data to? I mean, didn't we do that when Facebook came in, when Twitter came in, all these people, Rahul Gandhi's government not there at that time? Didn't we all click those boxes and say agree, 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 and proceed? We all sold our data, yes. But then it didn't happen in Modi government overnight. That's a question we need to ask. Let us, I don't know when this guy will be a kind of a positive thinker. He is so negative about everything in life. And now I know why he never got married.
Yeah, he has an obsession with martial arts as of now.
See, that is the most ridiculous discussion I ever seen for a long time in Parliament. You're supposed to speak on the budget, or and then you go on with something like choke and hold and kick and all that kind of stuff. I mean, jo bolna jaldi bolo yaar. 30 seconds. Today's audience doesn't have that much of time, and you are a boring speaker. You do a lot of drama because you know the cameras are focused on you. Take the camera away, Rahul Gandhi will run away from the Parliament. So, I mean, if I was a leader of opposition, I mean, I can never dream of it, but I'm just saying, I would rather go to the show. I would spend time at the stall. I would try and understand the technologies being worked out. I would have a good word, even if you don't have a good word for Modi ji, at least have a good word for those people in those stalls and tell them good work done, tweet about it. They will appreciate you, and maybe out of 10, 2 will vote for you tomorrow. But now you ensured where you're ridiculing the Indian ecosystem, the startup ecosystem, you will never ensure that none of those voters in that 18 to 24 gang will ever vote for you because you have a bad word for everything. You believe that Indian Rafales were lost when we didn't lose any of them. But then you insisted, no, 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 we lost it. That is it. I mean, Jaydev, I mean, I don't know whose advices are. No wonder Jairam Ramesh, of course, I have no respect for him also, but he was right in saying that he has people around like, this fellow, K.C. Venugopal. Stupid guy of the world. I mean, you go to Kerala, people laugh at you when you talk about K.C. Venugopal. I mean, such a guy who, when he sits in a place where Ahmad Patel used to sit at one time, where is Ahmad Patel and where is K.C. Venugopal? The world of different world. That is the problem. So when you get stupid advice, then you act in a stupid way, and that's what happened. Look, what happened to the vote chori? Do you remember anything about that now, Jaydev? Gone, finished. Then he came up with something else. Then he came up with the army chief's book. Now that has also disappeared from the scene. Now he's searching for something new. Yesterday we got the Galgotia stuff. Fine, boss. Mistake happened. But then do you blame? See, Ashwini Vaishnav doesn't sit and tweet. He's one of his team members who had tweeted. They saw a dog which looked pretty good. And in fact, the same dog was there at a show in Hyderabad a week ago. Jaydev, I saw it. It was one of the security agencies which was using it in their annual show. And they told me that it was used for patrolling in areas where, they have suspected bomb or IED diffuser. They use it there because, using a live dog is a dangerous thing. And that is what it is, because the dog would have a camera. It would tell them where the thing is, what does it look like, and then the security guys decide what to do with it. So it's nothing new. Of course, we are a long way to catch up with China. And if Rahul Gandhi wants to ridicule the Indian government because he signed an MOU with the Chinese, let him say that openly, that I'm promoting China here. I'm not promoting India or any Indian products.
Yeah, so that is, how ridiculous it is. And also, did you see the interview of Manishankar Iyer, who he said that this guy, K.C. Venugopal, is a thug and Pawan Khera is a puppet.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, as I told you, I don't hold any brief for Manishankar Iyer. But I think he gave the 2014 election on a platter to Modi ji when he said that you can sell tea at the AICC meetings. And that became the Chai Pe Charcha concept immediately, which Prashant Kishore grabbed and made it converted to the Chai Charcha concept. I was a part of the team, so I know how it worked. But, when the Chai Pe Charcha came, we went whole hog with it. We really played around with that, getting Videocon to give us those devices which we could connect. I did all that. But see, Manishankar Iyer was treated badly. I mean, one thing you need to understand from the Congress ecosystem, Jaydev, look at people like, whom all you want to say, Jitin Prasada, Himanta Bishwa Sharma, various people, Tom Wadakkal. These are people who are a part of the Congress ecosystem. Now, just because Sonia Gandhi doesn't like the face of Jairam Ramesh because he was close to Rajiv Gandhi, doesn't mean that you ignore him like this. See, we had cases where, Subramaniam Swamy keeps tweeting about Modi ji every other day. He keeps abusing Nirmala Sitharaman also every other day. But the BJP knows that, those kind of stuff is not true and people don't believe it. But when somebody talks about K.C. Venugopal or Pawan Khera, we immediately say, yes, this is exactly what I wanted to say about that guy. And Jairam Ramesh has stolen the words from me. And that is what it is. It's the most ridiculous thing that Pawan Khera puts out an animated video, which when he knows that the new IT rules very clearly say that if you create an AI generated image, which is fake, it can be put down by the concerned social media company. And that's what happened today. You put out ridiculous stuff. I mean, suppose somebody makes a video like that with Rahul Gandhi, you guys will go holler. I mean, Karnataka will order an arrest of that guy. This is what will happen. So I guess, I think Jairam Ramesh basically is a puppet. We all know that. And we know that also the is also a puppet. So everybody is a puppet in that sense of the word. And that is what is happening. I mean, he talked his heart out at the CPM conclave, where he had his way of saying Pinarayi Vijayan is going to win the election, and but he by fast record whomever he's predicted would win the election actually lost. So hopefully that's not good news for Pinarayi Vijayan. But I guess he's expressed his frustration. He said also that I got kicked out by KC Venugopal. So that is the frustration that is showing, that he literally was necked out from the Congress headquarters. And for a veteran like him, you should respect him for all it is worth. Which is why I kept giving the example of Subramaniam Swamy and earlier Shatrughan Sinha and all these people, Yashwant Sinha. These people used to tweet every day against Modi ji. But Modi ji never threw them out. And the other two left the party. Subramanian Swamy is still hanging around somewhere.
Yeah, so now in Karnataka, there is Siddaramaiah is, he and his 22 Congress MLAs, they have embarked on a study tour of Australia and New Zealand at their own expense. So this is a, show for, DK Shivkumar, who wants to be the CM at some point of time. So you can see
See,
how the Congress is treating DK as well.
I think in Hindi they say "Shamajhdar ko ishara hi kafi hai." So I think it is a case of that, because DK Shivkumar should get the message. I mean, you looked at the chief Bora, the former chief of PCC of Assam Congress, who's joining the BJP. Now, obviously, why? And who's getting him into the BJP? Another congressman who was fed the dog biscuits by Rahul Gandhi, Himanta Biswa Sharma. I mean, the Congress has a talent. If Congress's HR department was really active, they would fire Rahul Gandhi immediately. So that's what happens. If you keep losing your star people, the manager gets a sack, be it an IT company or any other company. And here, Rahul Gandhi is still around, and he's losing people by the dozen. I mean, Jyotiraditya Scindia, Jitan Prasada. You look at everybody in the BJP today. This is what it is all about. You're losing talent, boss. Don't lose talent. I mean, you hardly have any talent left in the party. You've got only yes men. I mean, Jairam Ramesh is a joker who goes to the Supreme Court and tries to stop a Supreme Court judgment. Last week, you must have known that issue, what happened. And the Supreme Court threw him out, warning him that he would be fined. He would be kind of, he would be fined a lot of money. So Jairam Ramesh is, I mean, Supriya Shirnate, all these people, they are all yes men and yes women of Rahul Gandhi. None of them have the guts to point out that the emperor does not have his clothes on. And that is the problem. And DK Shivkumar sitting in Karnataka should now wonder his future and say, should I tell BJP that I will come over to you, make me the chief minister? BJP will be more than happy to do that. And they've done it before also. So they'll do it again, not an issue. They've done it in other states where they're kind of back chief ministers who have quit those parties. I mean, a sinking ship is where people know when to flee. And I think where we see what happened in Assam could repeat itself in Karnataka. I mean, what is there to study in Australia and New Zealand? I don't understand. They hardly have any population. And what is there? You learn in India, boss. We have a plethora of population out here. We have so much of issues about traffic, garbage, other things. And you go to a place like Australia where there's hardly any people and then want to study that systems there. I mean, this is only a pleasure trip. And Naam ke vaste, you say that it's a pocket. We have put it from our own pocket. Everybody knows the kind of corruption that is there in Karnataka. This is the same people who mocked Yediyurappa for the 40% corruption. Now, all contractors saying they pay heavy money, and some contractor would have sponsored this trip. One needs to find out who booked the tickets, who paid the money. Then we will know the true picture of it. And if they're paid by cash, that is a very, very giveaway. So DK Shivkumar should get a sign of things to come. I think he should just quit and go. That's it. He should quit, work out a deal with BJP, Shinde style, and say, make me the Mukhyamantri. And I think BJP will do that.
Yeah, and also maybe Shashi Tharoor will also do the same. Who knows, at some point of time.
I don't think Shashi Tharoor will do it, Jaydev. Let us understand the difference between Shashi Tharoor and Jaydev and this guy, DK Shivkumar. See, GK Shivkumar has got followers. Shashi Tharoor is a one-man army in the Congress. The reason why he was kept there as such in the Congress is the reason is this, that he was in Trivandrum, he would have lost. That is the main thing that has happened there. In Trivandrum, Shashi Tharoor, if he had gone to the BJP, would have lost. Even though he's a Nair, he comes from the same community as me, but still, because of the unique combination, that moment you exit Trivandrum, you're finished. You get into the Latin Catholic part of it in Vizhinjam and other sides of it. And that is what is worrying Shashi Tharoor, but that is why he worked out a deal, because he's going to be the fifth time MP now, if he gets a ticket from Trivandrum again. And Congress also knows that if they kind of antagonize him, they would antagonize the Hindu community and they would lose more votes. And not just Trivandrum, but even the assembly segments in Trivandrum, including Nemam, which BJP is now planning to win, which they won before also once, when O. Rajgopal had won from there. So Shashi Tharoor is a one-man army. I don't take him seriously. He would have still had a future had he come to the BJP. Possibly Modi ji would have made him a Rajya Sabha member and given him some portfolio which would suit him, but not to replace Jaishankar ji, but that will never happen. Modi ji is very loyal to his ministers, or his ministers are also loyal to Modi ji. And that is why Nirmala Sitaraman, Rajnath Singh, Nitin Gadkari, Jaishankar ji, all these people, Piyush Goyal, are all still there. They are kind of hardcore loyalists who are still sticking around for after so many years in the office.
Yeah, so coming to the last point is that the sisters of Imran Khan, they have, accused Asim Munir and Shehbaz Sharif of plotting to kill him. So, according to reports, he has lost, vision in one eye, it seems. So he's in a very, very pathetic condition, like health-wise. So, what is happening in Pakistan? It is any day it can collapse, isn't it?
Yeah, it can. Actually, see, Pakistan is a failed state. We all know that, Jaydev. We are all in that, it's nothing like rocket science to know that. Pakistan is a failed state, and I have very little sympathy for Imran Khan because he should have got out when he knew that he was going to join the US. He should have just gone to England, and the army would have been more than happy to do that. Because for all the politicians to hide, the best place for them is London. So he should have just gone to London. He would have had a cushy life. But the point is, he decided to stay on. And look what happened to him today. He's in deep trouble physically. He's the so-called eyesight. I'm not sure whether that's the right one. But still, I fail to understand what does the so-called human rights activists do? Because if it happens in India, if one politician in India gets arrested, and then there will be a hue and cry here from all the international organizations, from US to Europe and everywhere. Why are they all keeping quiet when it comes to Pakistan? Why can't they demand that he should be checked by an international team of doctors? So be it WHO or who can set up a team and get Imran Khan examined and have him flown out of the country to a place where he can get better treatment. It's been done before with so many other political parties and political establishments and political leaders. Why can't it be done with Imran Khan? I fail to understand. What's America doing, by the way? America talks about human rights at every street corner. And here you have a guy who says, I can't see. What have we done about him? This is something that, Jaydev, beats me because human rights seems to be a one-way street in many cases. I mean, it's only when it comes to India or something that happens in Chhattisgarh or Manipur or even Kashmir that you have human rights coming up. But when an opposition leader is in jail in Pakistan, gets beaten up, is about to lose his eyesight, the US doesn't even talk a word about it. And forget US talking about it. What about the US media, which otherwise has an opinion on everything and under the sun? You know, even if a car ran over a dog in Delhi, they would blame Modi for it. That is the problem. But here, there's nothing like that. Why is it that the human rights contenders, the human rights campaigners should demand that Imran Khan be checked in the hospital or wherever it is in Karachi or Islamabad or wherever he is, that he should be examined by a medical team and then decided on the course of treatment? Of course, as I said before, the Pakistani army would be more than happy to send him abroad because that'd be one less of a guy to deal with. But I'm not sure he wants to go because he wants to stay there and make himself a martyr. But nobody remembers martyrs in Pakistan. What happened to Bhutto? What happened to Benazir? And what will happen to Imran Khan? That's a big question that we have here, Jaydev.
Yeah, that was a wonderful session, Sureshi, and we'll see you again next week. Thanks for coming.
Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
Jai
Jai
Hind.
Shri Ram.
Jai Shri Ram.